There are a lot of things that come to mind when thinking of pirate games, and contrary to the title of the video, there are some games that are excellent at capturing the magic associated with the Splish Splash Boys. For example, you have games like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and, well, honestly, that's really the only commercially successful one that comes to mind when thinking of the genre. And it's not even the main focus of the game, just a really good part of it. It's incredibly difficult to make the 7 Cs into the setting of a game, especially one the size of an MMO or a really large multiplayer game. The first reason for that is the fact that in a game based around pirates, there needs to be people to, well, pirate. The overwhelming allure of most of these games have as their staple is the fact that you get to be the pirate. So either the player base for the people that are doing things like carrying cargo or acting as a sort of navy are disproportionately small to the number of pirates, or all the encounters you have are going to be with NPCs. If the former is the case, you have too many people trying to go after the very limited number of targets to pirate, so the game ends up having 12 pirate ships gangbanging poor Timothy's cargo vessel while the other 300 pirate ships continue sailing in circles, pretending not to hear the 12-year-old screaming like a cat being skinned in the background, while they wait for their own prey that probably won't be there anytime soon. It leaves most of the player base with nothing to do, and the few players that aren't pirates angry because the odds are so stacked against them. There's never any real incentive, like advantages you can get from only being a member of the military, or a bunch of extra gold for sales if you're a cargo ship. The closest thing that I can think of would be Windward, in which you get different passive benefits depending on which faction you're a part of when you get your ship. But that also applies to the pirate ship, so there's no real reason not to be a pirate. And even if the number of ships to pirate is increased via NPC vessels, then the individual encounters themselves suffer because of the lack of variation that an AI can provide when encountered with extremely tactical combat used in fights between slow-moving vessels that have to rely on wind for most of their movement, unless the game doesn't like physics. The second main reason it's hard to make pirate games fun is because in huge games like Sea of Thieves, while you can have totally unexpected encounters like this one,
Captain!
Yeah, yeah?
that are absolutely hilarious, the map usually is so large that they'll be pretty damn rare. MMOs are built around hub areas, quests, and dungeons, all of which the player is guided to and incredibly incentivized to play through with other people. However, because a game all about being a pirate is trying to capitalize on the free spirit associated with the genre, there's generally much fewer hubs for players to gather at, and they tend to be no combat zones anyway. Little to no quests, and the players are the replacement for the dungeons to fight. There's no good way to track people down, so any encounters you have with other players will almost always be accidental, and while it does make it more fun for those few moments, the game is left with an overwhelming amount of monotony between them, while Captain Phil Swift patches the leaks from the last battle with his flex steel. This would normally be the part in the video where I talk about how I think these issues can be fixed, but I'm not exactly an expert on the subject, and I also just think the genre and common game formats right now don't mix well enough to make a truly great pirate game. Also, it's not like I've played every pirate game out there, so there may be a really good one that I don't know about, but thanks for watching my extraordinarily mediocre video I made at 2 a.m.